Hi, my name is Palmohiga, and today I'll be explaining work ethics. Basically, ethics on themselves are sorts of rules that society establishes in order to perform a certain conduct and how to fit in a society. Now, work ethics are basically those same types of rules, but only applied in the work industry. These types of ethics on themselves consist of morals, integrity, character development, and values and laws. And basically, all these things are very important when it comes to working on an industry. An example of this could be, let's say you're selling a product. Let's say you really want to sell it. You can either choose two options. You can either choose to follow these ethnic works, or you can just improvise at the top of your head and see where that goes. Most people, when they don't know what to do on a situation, when they recognize that their product is bad and they try to sell it, they lie about the product to make it sound way more better than it actually is. And customers, unfortunately, tend to fall for that kind of stuff. And the reason why some industries do this is because they prefer what's the word? They rather grab the profit of the client they have than actually caring of what the client could get out of that product. And what, in my personal opinion, I don't think it's very logical, and I don't get why they keep doing it, is the fact that they can risk losing so much money if they choose to lie about the product, and then the client figures that out and they sue them, and they can lose like a lot of money, but they still rather keep the profit of that one client out of all the million clients they could have. They rather risk it endangering the company out of that one client just because they're worried the product not might be good. Now, in the first option, which is using these the ethnics in the workplace, you can choose to be you can choose integrity. Integrity basically consists of somebody being honest, and that on itself is very important on the work business, because honesty develops trust. And if you're pretty honest about your product, explains its pros and cons in the industry, it's up to the client on whether they want to buy the product regardless of the cons, or just go on by the rest of the day. And that's the risk somebody in the work business has to take, because not everybody's going to buy a product of a company, because some people might like it, some people won't like it, and you have to deal with it. At the end of the day, integrity guarantees trust, and the more people trust on your product and know how effective it is, the more clients you'll be riling up and keep getting the product, and that's progress. Another thing is, character development, how you approach yourself to your client. You can't be ruthless. You can't, like, you have to act decent. You have to be sympathetic with the client on what he's looking for. Put yourself in his shoes, and from that point forward, offer him the recommendations you would want, and see if that's what the client would also want. Now, I've been watching this video. It's kind of like an example of what I'm explaining here, and basically, I think it's the title of the videos is work ethics, and basically to caught you up to speed, there's three characters. There's the client, there's coworker number one, and then coworker number two. Now, coworker number one is the one who's talking to the client, and she's lying about her product, about the design of a car, and the motor, the paint. She's lying about, oh yeah, this will definitely work. She's basically lying to the customer and saying that the product is very good, much more than in reality it is. And coworker number two is listening to this type of conversation, but she doesn't say anything. Once coworker number one has the customer satisfied in terms of, he's like, okay, that seems reasonable. This seems like a good deal, and they seal the deal, and then he leaves. Then coworker number two approaches coworker number one and tells her, hey, I can't believe you did that. And coworker number one is like, what did I do? what? Coworker number two, then it's like you lied to him, you lied to the product, and then she's like, coworker number one is like, oh, so it's his, at the end of the day, if the product fails, he'll think it's on him, not on us. Better than blame it on himself than on us, the company. Coworker number two, she's like, no, you shouldn't do this, honestly, because it's not a win-win. It's certainly not to the company, and most definitely not to you. And that keeps the coworker number one realizing on, maybe she has a point, but the video ends there. It doesn't like establishes the change of that coworker. Basically, these types of conversations and confrontations do help because it helps people people like this realize that, damn, I'm compromising myself and the company all based on a lie. And I think it's way more important than to be trustworthy than to appear to a liar. Because at the end of the day, if people see you as a liar, they won't trust you whatsoever. And I think that's very important on the workplace. If you know your product is not good, be open about it. And in fact, if you see that people are not trying to buy the product, try to improve on it, try to fix its cons, and try to add more pros. Because at the end of the day, most products nowadays have pros and cons. They have good things and they have bad things. It's only in regards to the people who develops them to improve on them, then getting people's interest on it, and then customers will try to give you a second chance, try the product once again, and they'll figure out the difference. And if the difference is good, you'll be caught their interest, and they'll be trying to get more. But unfortunately, people care more about customer profit and their company that they do on helping their clients in the right way. And that's where these types of rule applies. All of this integrity, laws, morals, etc. You have to know, as morals, you have to know not only your worth, but if you have a job that its purpose is to produce the public with the best thing that you can have, you should do that. You can't just lie to everybody, because at the end of the day, that's when the risk of the company comes in, and you could lose your job. You put the company on greater risk, and you'll be unemployed. But yeah, that's basically my opinion about it. Obviously, I know there's way more professionals out there. They know better stuff than that. But I just thought, give you a piece of my mind. But once again, thank you for your attention, and bye.